Hi Chefeteers, I'm Chef Nakia and I want you to be more confident in the kitchen and all of the things leading up to getting in the kitchen to cook. One of those being grocery shopping. Today I'm going to share with you 8 ways to save time while grocery shopping. Now a couple months ago I put up like meal planning 101, like super basic steps to start meal planning, and I see this video is kind of following in that sort of vein, so I'll tag the meal planning video here, but these are tips and tricks, ideas around grocery shopping that you might already be doing, but if you are someone who hasn't grocery shopped very often, it's kind of something that you are starting to add into your routine. These may be super helpful for you. Number 1, organize your shopping list by department. So it can be really helpful to have all of the fresh produce together, and then like everything that's found in the breakfast aisle together, and all of your like rices and beans together, everything for the meat and seafood counter. So whenever you organize your grocery list like this, then as you are going through the store, you can, with just a glance, check and make sure you have everything from that department or aisle before you leave it, and you can avoid having to walk back and forth across the store however many times. If you are really familiar with the store that you're shopping in, then you can list those departments by the route that you normally take whenever you go through the store. So typically when we go to the same stores, we'll end up just taking the same route. So after you've done that a couple times, you'll know which order to put everything in, and that can definitely save you some time as you're going through the store. And lastly, for the list, if you have an ingredient that you're planning to buy that you rarely ever buy, and you're not exactly sure where it lives, go ahead and look up. Most stores will have in their app a product locator, so you can type in the store that you're planning to go to, and then it'll tell you what aisle you can find that ingredient in. So whenever you're writing your shopping list, you can just put that aisle number next to the ingredient, and then that way when you're at the store, you don't have to walk up and down a few aisles to find it. You know at least which aisle it's in, and then hopefully it can save you some time finding it just within that aisle. So whether your list is on paper or it's digital, I think it's super important to have a list and to follow your list, and then to organize the list as much as you can to save you time when you're in the store. Then another tip is to use your mailers, you know, these little like coupon things that they send out to you, or the coupons in the like store's app, so you can plan your shopping trip based off of what is on sale. If purchasing items on sale is important to you, you can know before you even go in the store which items will be on sale and which ones won't. That way you don't have to walk, you know, past a bunch of different ingredients looking for one that has a little sale tag and whatnot. You already, because you looked at the mailer before, you already know which ones you're looking for. Another tip for saving time at the store is to go at a time whenever it is less busy. And yes, you may be at work or school when it's less busy, because that's when everybody else is at work and school. But if you have a more flexible schedule, you may be able to find a time. Also, if instead of by trial and error, you really want to know for sure what time, you could always ask like the store manager what's like the quietest time, or a couple quietest times, and then choose one that fits your schedule through there. When there are less people around you, you'll be able to zip in and out of those aisles so much quicker. When some people go grocery shopping, they kind of hesitate with the fresh produce because they feel intimidated by like, okay, which one should I choose? Like, and they might stand there questioning for a little bit, which of these avocados or tomatoes should I take home? So if you want to boost your confidence with how to pick out produce, head to the link in the description box, which will take you to my Instagram, where I have a series of produce tips. So I show a picture of produce and circle which ones you should pick out and take home, and which things to avoid. So if you are looking to build your confidence in that area, be sure to head on over to my Instagram for more tips around that specifically. Another part of the grocery store that can sometimes take a lot of time is the meat and seafood counter or the deli counter. So if you like to get your cheese or your lunch meat sliced freshly for you, consider the time that will take with, you know, the trade-off of just maybe purchasing a pre-sliced pack of meat and cheese. With those, you can always look for the best by date on the pre-sliced, and that way you can feel confident that you're getting something on the fresher side. And maybe this is like an audible that you call when you're at the store. So if you already see a couple people waiting, then maybe you're like, all right, today's gonna be a pre-sliced meat and cheese. Whereas if there's nobody else around, maybe that's the time that you say, okay, I'll have it freshly sliced for me. But the longer that we're waiting for the counter person, you know, at the deli or at the meat and seafood counter to help other customers to then come and help us, does, you know, take up a decent amount of time. So if your goal is to save time, probably purchase the prepackaged. Number 6. Now this will probably only apply to some of you, not all of you, but if you find yourself getting distracted walking through aisles, like if you go in with a plan, but then time just seems to pass without you even really realizing because you're looking at so many different food products and taking your time to decide, then you may want to set some boundaries for yourself. This is important if you really want to save time grocery shopping, but you find that it's a repetitive concern. So you can set boundaries in a couple different ways. One is you could actually like set a timer on your phone so that it will remind you that time is passing. So you can set it for whatever amount of time feels right for you. And whenever it goes off, then you gotta go to the next aisle. So if you tend to find yourself just kind of standing in front of too many options, this method might help you make a decision faster, because in the back of your mind, you will know like, oh, there's a timer ticking down, and it kind of turns it into a game. Like, you gotta beat the clock. So setting a timer is one way to create a boundary. Another could be if you let's say you're looking at ice cream or something and you pick up like 7 or 8 different ones and you're reading all over the label and trying to decide which one, you just get overwhelmed with choices. You could create a rule for yourself, like you can only touch 3 of a product and then you have to choose one and take it. Because let's be real, something, like ice cream or whatever, there are so many different flavors and you probably can't really go wrong. So out of the first 3, you're probably gonna find one of those that you do enjoy. And you can always pick a new one the next time you go to the store. So if setting a timer doesn't really feel right for you, maybe limit yourself to only touching a few of a type of food item, like maybe 2 or 3 different brands, and then you gotta pick one. Yes, there are a lot of options, but a lot of them are pretty similar. And if you've been purchasing the same brand, what are the chances that even though you look at those other ones, you're just gonna go back to that same one that you've seen before, right? So you could limit yourself there. Also, don't let yourself go down any aisles that you don't have items on your shopping list for, because that's, just asking for more times to be distracted, and you may end up getting stuff that you don't even need at home, or like you already have some at home, so you didn't need a second or a third box, but now you have it. And it might not feel like it'll take very long to walk down the next aisle and then up the following one. But if you are someone who gets distracted a lot, that really can start to add a lot of time to your shopping trip if you just keep looking at both sides at all of these cool things. If you do love exploring the grocery store and looking at all of the different options there is part of what makes you enjoy being at the grocery store, then choose, maybe you can schedule in a shop a week where you go by yourself, you don't have kids with you or any other distractions with you, and you have plenty of time. And those are the times when you can browse up and down each aisle and, look at all of the different options. But for those grocery shopping trips where you don't have very much time and you really want to spend as little time as possible in the store, create boundaries so that you don't get distracted. Number 7 is to use the self-checkout if that's convenient for you. I know there are some people where the self-checkout probably does actually take longer than an actual, person helping you at the register. But if you are efficient at the self-checkout, then go ahead and go to that one first, because even when it has a line, it almost always goes quicker than any of the other lines. And especially if you go on a day and time whenever it's slower, you might be the only one at that self-help or self-checkout, and they always have at least one employee there. So if you do need some help, you would be able to have them come over, and help you sooner instead of waiting as they're going to, 6 different checkouts helping everybody. So definitely keep in mind that, being intentional about when you go to the grocery store, and it may save you time, not just in getting up and down the aisles quicker, but also in getting help anytime if you do need help, whether it's at the register or an item that needs to be restocked or whatnot. Number 8, the last great way to save time grocery shopping is to not go grocery shopping at all, and to let someone else grocery shop for you. And ideally, someone who you trust and who you know is going to be in the store picking out the types of ingredients that they would want to cook themselves, right? They're not giving you wilted spinach or mushy avocados or bananas that are already brown, right? They're getting you the freshest items, and they are actually filling the cart with the items that you requested and not making substitutions that make absolutely no sense, and sticking to your flavor preferences. Now that might feel like, how do I find someone who will do that for me? Well, that's why I started Chef It. I know that there are people out there who want to save time grocery shopping, but they've been burned by some of the services that they've tried out there. So that's why I, for my clients, go into the store. I know what recipes that they're cooking. If we need to make substitutions, I make those the ones that make the most sense for them. And I always ensure that I'm keeping their flavor preferences and dietary restrictions in mind. So they know that they are getting the highest quality produce and meats and seafoods and all of that, and they're not going to have to receive the grocery delivery and then actually go to the store to pick out whatever the delivery missed anyway. So if you're in the Denver area and you want to save time grocery shopping, maybe you can send me instead. And if you don't live in the Denver area, but you do want some help getting that shopping list organized so that you can go through the store quicker, I can help you there too. So I also help people meal plan and then get that meal plan and those recipes into a nice, concise shopping list that you can print out or keep on your phone and check mark everything off as you are going through the store shopping, and that will help save you some time. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching Chefeteers. Join me next month when I'm kind of taking this, so meal planning, grocery shopping. Now when we get home, what kitchen equipment do we actually need? And what can you skip? So if you are, just starting this culinary adventure and food preparation, if you are right out of college living on your own for the first time, the second video in October is going to be especially for you, so that you can stock up your kitchen with the things you'll actually want to use and not just the gadgets that maybe look cool but really aren't necessary. Join us next time. Thank you so much.